Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sportscast Jersey Football Chat. This week we are joined by another football manager from the local league, Robbie Whittaker of St Paul's. How are we doing, Robbie?
I'm good, thanks, Dan. How are you, mate? You good?
Yeah, good, mate. Good, not bad.
Thanks for having me on.
No worries at all. We'll go straight into it. Obviously, a lot of people might know or might not know this is your first season as manager at St Paul's, coming in with this group. Was that an easy decision for you?
To be fair, Dan, really easy. I mean, I couldn't do it. I did it 10 years ago with Martin Cassidy. We were doing St Paul's, and but then my job at the prison took over and all the shift work, so I had to take a step back from football in general, really. So because of the shift work, but I've left that job now. So I wanted to get back involved, and when St Paul's were available, I thought, no better club to do it. It's my club. I grew up there, and try and help them get back to where they belong.
Yeah, definitely. We'll go into the squad straight away. Obviously, it's a young squad. But how happy are you with the squad that you've inherited?
I couldn't wish for anything better, to be honest. I mean, if I'm really being picky, the only thing I need is a little bit of experience, in the middle of the park. But the young lads, they've all bought into mine. And I mean, Paul Farrell and Brendan Boyle have been unbelievable for me. They've helped me settle in really quick. So the squad's really bought into what we're trying to achieve and our goals and everything. So we're looking forward to the whole season, and we've had a few good results already. So let's see where we go with it.
Yeah, definitely. And how happy are you with the start of the season? Obviously, just touched on there a few good results to start off, and how good are you with the performances and how the lads have gone?
I mean, my biggest thing was to the lads was about fitness. I wanted us to be the fittest team in the league, and we're blessed with the young squad, so they're not carrying them few extra pounds that the older players would carry. So I'm quite lucky with that, to be honest. But they've all bought into it. The start of the season's been we've had a few dodgy results, or a couple of wrong results, if I say, but on a whole, made up with the performance-wise, the way they've adjusted to it, the way they've actually gone at it. I mean, I keep having to pinch myself saying that they're still young lads. They're not seasoned pros or seasoned players. I think Matty Davies, our oldest player, and 23. To be fair, sometimes he plays like he's 63, but we'll let him off on that one. But really happy. I couldn't have wanted to go any better, to be honest. I mean, they've all bought into it and ready to go.
Yeah, definitely. And when they were asking you to take over and what have you, obviously you look at the squad and you look at the opportunity to develop the team, and obviously, as we've mentioned plenty of times already, so young. How good an opportunity is this to build a really good team for years to come as well?
Well, Dan, to be fair, I feel the luckiest man in Jersey football. I mean, to have a blank canvas to come in on, and then to have that amount of talent, that amount of young players that are willing to play and wanting to learn and everything. I'm the luckiest man in Jersey football. I mean, I don't think anyone's ever had this opportunity before in their life, to be fair. It's like you look at some of the young players we got, like Barry Beats and Connor O'Keefe, Connor O'Keefe is just amazing, by the way. Like, I don't think he gets enough plaudits. He just glides across the park, So we've got young players like that. We've got the Gilroy brothers. We've got just so many of them. I mean, Kyle Wilson at right back is unbelievable. He'll just tackle anything, and I love that. And they're all keen to learn, which is good. Like that's the biggest thing for me. They want to learn. They want to progress. So it makes my job and Paul's job and Brendan's job so much easier.
Yeah. And you touch on taking St Paul's back to the kind of glory days. We'll come on to what the goals are for this season. But in terms of pressure, is how much pressure is there with the kind of shirt that they're wearing and the club that you're managing? Obviously, St Paul's hugely successful in Jersey. Is there pressure that comes with that?
If we had senior players, there would be a lot of pressure. But with these young lads, it's just about going out and expressing themselves. They're coming through the ranks, they're learning their trade. So let's just let them go and play football. Obviously, as a manager, I want us to do as well as we can and finish as high as we can. But I'm not putting that pressure on the lads. It's about going and express themselves. Like I want them to progress, become the best players they can do, and inevitably that'll mean that they'll go to the Bulls, and I'm happy with that. That mean that I've done my job ushering them through, if that makes sense. Because they are young, and I want the best for them. Like when I was playing, we never had an opportunity of any of the Bulls or anything like that. So why not? Why can't we be a stepping stone for them to go and progress and go and hopefully make a career in the game that we all love?
Yeah, definitely. In terms of goals for this season, you touched on it there. You don't want to put much pressure on the lads, but do you want to have a cup run? Do you want to, how high do you want to finish in the league, kind of thing?
Well, obviously, like being a selfish man that I am, that I just want us to finish as high as we can, win as many games as possible. If we can pinch a cup run along the way, I mean, we're doing all right in the wee way at the minute, touch wood. So hopefully have a little run at that. I think we've got St Clements in the next round, so that'll be tough. And looking forward to seeing Sammy Sutcliffe there, because he jumped ship. But yeah, just progressing, just getting the lads playing together, and yeah, let's see what we can do. As a team, it's a young squad, so let's go and see what we can do.
Yeah, I think for anyone who's watched the St Paul's side, it's obviously with the Barrys, with the Connors, with even Fergus. I know he's now injured, but you can see the quality.
Brilliant player. Brilliant player.
Yeah.
We missed him the last game. He's a cracking little player as well. And me and Paul have had a couple of little arguments about his best position and stuff. I want him middle of the park, but he thinks he's better as centre half. Or I think Paul Renton, with the Ireland team, plays him at left back, and he's not a left back. Like I was a left back, and I was shocking. So keep him well away from left back.
Yeah, I was a left back as well, so I know what you're talking about.
We're useless. No one wants to be a left back.
It's a spare part. What was I going to say next? In terms of local football for you, obviously you've had time away from the game and you've come back. And what's your opinions on how it's all looking and how the actual football on the island's looking?
Well, if I can be totally honest, I mean, the standard of football is improving massively. I mean, like without harping on back in the day, like no one was going away for trials or anything. I remember there was a session, Sheffield United come over and they took two players, or they looked at two players. That was Mark Ray and Kev Mitchell. And that was it, and that was unheard of, like over in Jersey football. But now you've got so many young lads getting the chance to go away. And I think that's testament to our league, because we've always had good players. It's just because we're a little island sitting south of England, it doesn't mean that, we're not, or we haven't got good players. So the standard of football is raising so much. It's scary. I mean, I just look at the squad every time I go training and just think, wow, like I've not seen this sort of talent in this group this easy to get to, in all my footballing career. So to see that is just brilliant. So I think the standard of football is going up. I think the Jersey Bulls, if I'm totally honest, from when I was looking at it from afar, I think it hampered the standard to begin with, because they pinched or they cherry picked all the players, which they're entitled to do.
Yeah.
But now there's becoming more of a common ground between the Bulls, where they're, talking with the clubs and saying who they're going to take. And I think they've just brought in this season that they can only sign, I think it's 26 players. I think the rest are going to be safe for the season. So yeah, that's all good, because then that gives players a chance to develop. I mean, I think I mentioned Sammy Sutcliffe before. I think he was a bit of I think he was hindered by it last season, where he was getting called up to play for the Bulls and then not playing because they didn't think he was ready. But then he couldn't play local football, so his development maybe stumbled a bit. And so to have that path now where we can try and develop players to then get them in the best place possible to be ready to take that step up.
Yeah,
it's sky's the limit for the Bulls and for local players. I mean, even players who don't make the ball squad, they can go on and carve out a great career in local football for themselves because they're being given the chance. And yeah, the standards very, very high. It's scary. Like,
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not playing now because I wouldn't get a look in.
Nah, I think it has improved a lot, and obviously St Paul's were probably the hardest hit club when Bulls started. But I've seen the club over the last 2 years develop these players, and getting that opportunity to play first team football has probably helped them and improved or quickened up their kind of
their growth and everything.
their growth. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I think, like you say, the stepping stone is good.
100%, mate. I mean, like, yeah, it was a struggle to, like, ideally, all the lads now that are playing for me, they'd still have another season in, just feeling their feet or find their feet in senior football. It's sort of been needs must with us at this season, but they've proved they're ready. They're stepping up. It's going to be a steep learning curve for them, but it'll benefit them in the long run, definitely.
Yeah.
What I have to say as well, Dan, is stuff that you're doing now, like this sort of thing, interviewing us and, going out and following games. I think that's massive for Jersey football as well. Not just the development of players, but getting the insight and getting the following as well. It's massive. Jersey have been crying out for this. I mean, Guernsey have done it, not this sort of thing, but Guernsey, their fans always followed their teams, whereas Jersey didn't really seem to care or anything, But what you're doing now is amazing. I think keep this up, and this will keep building Jersey football. Like, regardless of the Bulls, this will keep building Jersey football, like local football, and everyone want to be on your show in the future, mate. It's brilliant. So
yeah, no, thank you for the kind words, and as I've said many times, I love what I do, so it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, definitely. If you love it, mate, keep doing it because
Yeah.
It's a long slog if you don't love it. So
No, exactly. That's all for today, I think. Robbie, thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on. Really good insight into how you think as a kind of manager for your St Paul side and also for local football overall. So thank you for your time.
Dan, thanks very much for having us, buddy. Okay, and welcome back anytime, and always welcome up at St Paul's as well, mate. Okay.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. And thank you
Take
to everyone that's watched or listened to this episode. Another episode is coming soon.